Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies. And I too am very excited and energized about being here. Kudos to YBI for hosting this summit. I think you've whet our appetites, and lots of us are sitting here just waiting for more. I also want to take the opportunity to thank you as well for inviting me to share on networks and the networks that I'm a part of, why I see it as being important to be part of those networks, and what we aim to get out of our participation. Great. We are connected, so we can go. In terms of the networks that I've had the privilege to be part of, there are three that I'd like to highlight today. The Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme, which I've had the honor of conceptualizing and bringing to its fruition. We are going to be celebrating 20 years as an organization. In fact, we are in our anniversary year this year. And that network brings together young entrepreneurs 18 to 35 years old, and as an organization, yes, is concerned with providing really critical supports to young entrepreneurs to enable them to move from idea to enterprise. Very recently, yes, and our sister organization, the Barbados Investment and Development Corporation, became part of the Barbados Small Business Development Center network, and our PS would have alluded to it before. That network is concerned with making sure that there's an integrated approach to providing support services to entrepreneurs, and especially young entrepreneurs here in Barbados. And since then, in June, we've started the Commonwealth Alliance of Young Entrepreneurs for Canada and the Caribbean. And again, the focus of that alliance is on promoting young entrepreneurs. Now, Mr. Davenport spoke to purpose. And the reason why these three networks are so great and work so synergistically together is that they all have a common vision and a common mission. For me, being part of the three networks, I want to underscore, and that's why I put it in red, that these three organizations are making a difference. They're making a difference in the lives of the entrepreneurs at the individual level, because they're allowing the entrepreneurs to realize their aspirations and bring their dreams to market. As the entrepreneurs do that, and as they create wealth, they're able to transform their communities, and that's making a difference. And of course, as communities flourish, then our regions flourish, because then it brings a great set of dynamism to our economies, and we're able to grow. So for me, the most important thing in being part of a network, and I will urge you, if you do decide to become part of one, be prepared to make a difference. Now today I'm going to focus on the Commonwealth Alliance of Young Entrepreneurs, because we aim to be a voice for young entrepreneurs, and it's critical that I kind of mobilize you to become a part of that process. And this is CAYE. We met back in December last year in Barbados, and the seed was sown to start the alliance. It was watered and it grew, and in June of this year, it was launched. 13 organizations from 9 Commonwealth countries came together to form CAYE-Caribbean and Canada. And of course, we had a purpose: to contribute to regional sustainable development by helping to increase the numbers of young entrepreneurs who grow business, create jobs, change lives, and ensure future economic prosperity. That's the purpose of CAYE. Now, why is CAYE important? CAYE is important because we're aiming to strengthen the regional entrepreneurship ecosystem, to improve the contributions of youth-led, micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises to regional economies. You heard this morning, and as many of the entrepreneurs spoke, there are opportunities that abound throughout the region. Why are we not capitalizing on it? Because we're not connecting. Each of us is operating in our own individual spaces. I was so happy to see the connection between Ryan of Dazzle and his counterpart in St. Lucia, but we need to be doing much more of that for us to really thrive and rise as a Caribbean community, and it is possible because we have the talent and we have the resources. We need to connect with one another, and then our networks can allow us to do that. So what will we do as a network? We will advocate, we will build capacity. This morning I heard the young gentleman from St. Lucia say that he was concerned about the support that he would be given as a young entrepreneur. But on this continuum of entrepreneurial development, we are at different stages. And there are lots of models and best practices that we have here in the region that we can draw on. So as we join the network and we interact with one another, we can learn from Barbados, we can learn from Jamaica, we can learn from Dominica, we can learn from Anguilla, and the best of what we have in the region can be replicated. So we can build capacity. So the services that the young entrepreneur from St. Lucia that he's looking for, that we're doing as a matter of course in Barbados, you can draw on that model and St. Lucia can adopt it to help you to grow. Of course, promotion is critical. We must showcase the success stories of our young entrepreneurs. And I'm happy to see so many of you here today, but I didn't know your story before. And certainly CAYE, through our communications and marketing, will be ensuring that we put the word out there. I'm very impressed with Miss Tamika. So very impressed. Before, I never heard of Bead Cafe or Bang Bang. Bang Bang meant something else for me here in Barbados. But I'm so impressed with you as a young female entrepreneur. And I need to put in a plug for female entrepreneurs because typically when we hear stories of entrepreneurship, it's the males that rise to the fore. And I'm not gender bashing here, but there are excellent stories of young entrepreneurs, male and female, that we need to share. So promotion is going to be critical. And of course, trade facilitation. You aren't in business as a charity. You want to make money. You want to create wealth. And to capitalize on those opportunities, we need to trade with one another. So that's going to be a critical element. And what are the impacts that I see? Because again, Mr. Davenport said, you don't network without a core purpose. You have to get something out of it. And our vision, in terms of CAYE, and my personal vision as being part of this process, I want to see increased employment among young people. We know of the dismal statistics in terms of youth unemployment, double-digit figures. We need to focus more on training our young people to be employers as opposed to being the employed. So this is an excellent mechanism. We want to develop our entrepreneurial ecosystems across the regions so that there is synergy, taking into consideration our unique characteristics. There will be region-specific approaches, but there must be a commonality of approach that creates an umbrella around our framework. Of course, I envision that we will see strengthened legislative and regulatory frameworks. Some countries, Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, for example, are already ahead of the curve in terms of developing legislation. Right now in Barbados, we are working on a policy to develop the MSME sector here in Barbados. And when that is done, we don't want that it's only used by Barbadians. We want that it can be replicated throughout the region because we are sufficiently similar that we can draw on our experiences. And I know that CARICOM is already working as well on a template that will be shared throughout the Caribbean for islands to adopt. So to see that, improve services for MSMEs, especially youth-led MSMEs, enhance capacity, institutional capacity, as I said, increase trade opportunities for young people, expanded networking opportunities. And Erica mentioned earlier that for you young entrepreneurs to stand around and look at one another. And I'm hopeful that once we start this conversation, when you leave here, you will start the true work of networking. So I'm not shaking hands and taking your business cards, but I'm looking for ways that we can do business once we go through the door and ways that we can stay connected. Of course, we want to advance the whole notion of youth entrepreneurship through our networks. It's a powerful developmental tool, entrepreneurship on the whole, but youth entrepreneurship, because the majority of our unemployed persons within the region is youth. and youth has a potential, a huge potential to revolutionize our economy. There's a significant number of young entrepreneurs that are interested in being self-employed, so we have to advance that work. Of course, through the network, you get a wider access to assistance. We're going to be fostering a regional approach and not just a national approach. And for me, the most critical thing that I want to see is that we have more positive examples of productive young people across the region. So join me in that process.